Right, it's over to me now. You'd think after all these years I'd be used to this. Someone mentioned the start of a race, you're always very nervous. Guess what happens when you're standing up here, looking at 250 people, and there's no lights so you can't see them, like you normally get on the stage. Anyway, hi Bowen, everybody here. Distinguished guests, Mr. Deputy Speaker who's just left, and I've just been told I've delayed Parliament vote for this little presentation. So it's the first time in my life I've ever delayed a Parliament. But then life's all about firsts, right? Anyway, so I am so honoured to be here today in front of all of you, being recognised for what has been a heck of a ride in the aviation business for the last 60 years. Yeah, 60 years. I looked at all of the people who came up as the lecturers and the tutors that you have here in the college, most of which I know, of course, and are friends of mine. And I realized very quickly that I probably am the oldest person in the audience tonight, this afternoon, or this evening, or today. So, at 78, I'm still batting on, as they say here in Sri Lanka. And the reason I do it is because I thoroughly enjoy it. We couldn't hear quite what my wife was saying just now, unfortunately, but she was saying the same thing. Why do I keep on working? Because I love it. Because I'm passionate about aviation. And that came through in our colleague's speech about motorsport. I love motorsport as well, but not so much these days. But, you know, aviation is a special industry. And for all you graduates, everyone's been talking about everybody but you today, a thoroughly big well done from me for lasting out the course. Well, first of all, choosing aviation for something that you want to get passionate about. And if you're not already passionate about it, stick around a bit, you will be. I can assure you, you will be. Because having been in it, as I say, for more than 60 years, I'm still passionate about it today. I still look up at the sky every time an aeroplane goes overhead. I did that when I was 5 years old, I think. Probably by 10 years old, definitely. In those days, the noise was a little different because they all had propellers on and they were all driven by piston engines. Okay, nowadays, of course, it's all jet engines. Some few have a steel propeller on the front, but who knows what the industry will be like in another 20 or 30 years. Will those jet engines be replaced by electric, or will they be propelled by hydrogen? Who knows? But one thing is, aviation is a constantly changing industry. So, you young men and women who've come into this industry and been tutored and been lectured by your professors here at the institute here, you've all started to learn about this wonderful world of aviation. And you've lasted the course, and you're coming through today with certificates to show that you've graduated. Well, very well done indeed. In fact, why don't you give yourselves a big clap? Because this is your day. This is your special day to recognize your achievement. I know some of the courses have been tough. They're not easy. But guess what? The aviation industry, the airline business in particular, which I know very well, isn't easy. If you want a soft job, don't come and work for an airline, because I can assure you, it's 24/7. What does that mean? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No public holidays, no Poya days, no days off. Someone's got to keep those airplanes flying. And soon, that's going to be you. Are you ready for this? I hope so. Because I really hope that after this graduation, you'll all come into the travel industry and work. So many of these courses designed to give you the knowledge to come and see people like me when you're looking for a job. Thousands and thousands of people have done that in the past, and thousands and thousands of people, hopefully and happily, I've been able to give them opportunities. But the opportunity of getting a job with one of the airlines that we all work for is the first step. It's up to you to take the next few steps to start climbing up that ladder. Because guess what? I started at the bottom, just like all of you are going to do very shortly. And it's a bit of a climb, but you'll get there. If you're passionate about it, if you work hard, and as long as you still enjoy it, I hope you'll be staying in it as long as I've been over the last 60 odd years. One thing I will say, in my opinion, and I'm quite an opinionated gentleman, as most of you will know, I have views, I would say that for you coming into the industry today, you're probably coming in at the beginning of a golden era for starting your careers off. And you notice I still mention that old word career, because in aviation, although Generation X, which most of you are today, have a habit of moving on very quickly, I don't think you'll move on out of the airline industry once you're in it. And there's a lot of nods coming from some of the people that I've worked with for years, because that's what we've all experienced. You develop a friendship, you develop a passion for this industry, which is hard to describe if you've never worked for an airline before. It's very hard. The joy of actually seeing a full flight of passengers and cargo when you're on the side of putting together the sales effort that makes that happen. The joy when you see all these customers coming to the airport and checking in at your counter and looking at the time on your watch and seeing that aeroplane go off, fully booked, on time. And my famous quote to all of the airlines I work with is, I want to see the aircraft go on time, every time. That's all we need. It's all we need to do. On time, every time. You've got a lot of happy customers then. I know we've seen different models on the screen about what makes an airline different, what wins awards, etc., etc. From the customer's point of view, in my opinion, basically, it's two things. Getting to your destination on time and having a friendly and very enjoyable experience due to all of the staff that you've had experience with all the way along the journey. And that's you in the future. Today you aspire to be one of those people, whether it's cabin crew, whether it's a check-in person, whether it's in commercial, whether you are working in the hangar. And these are a lot of the unsung heroes, by the way, people that keep our aircraft serviceable and ready for departures every time, on time, every time. So, what's it to be? Are we going to take our certificates, our graduation today and walk off into another industry? Or is there enough excitement in your blood? Is there enough passion that you want to give the aviation and the travel industry a try? I really hope that that's the decision you'll make. Because I look forward one day of checking in at a counter, travelling on a flight, and seeing some of the faces that we might see later on being graduated here today. Because that would make my day. So, not a long speech, I'm not for long speeches. I've had a lot of fun in this industry, as you've seen a little bit of it on the big screen. And there's a lot more pictures that weren't shown. That's the fun bit as well. But anyway, in our business, you work hard, you play hard. That's our motto, and that's how I've lived my life for the last 60 odd years. So anyway, all you lovely young people, get out there and change the world. Do a bit of flying, do a bit of travelling. Remember, Sri Lanka is the place you'll start in the industry, but it's a global industry. And as we've already heard, there's so many opportunities that are awaiting you in this big wide world. So don't be afraid to take on a little bit more responsibility than you think you're capable of, and give it a try. You might surprise yourself. Like we heard from one of our speakers today, if you want to be the first in the race, you've got to start somewhere, and it's usually at the back of the grid. But with passion, determination, and not a lot of money, because money isn't the driver here. Doesn't matter how rich or poor your family are, in the end of the day, it's up to you to make it happen. So good luck, and thanks for having me on board today, and we look forward to seeing you up in the air one day. Thank you.